This is Toronto.
No English. No English.
Immigrants.
All immigrants are hardworking, not beggars.
Protests. Tim Hortons.
Why is the Tim Hortons in Toronto and these areas filled up with a lot of Indians?
There's no job shortage. Canadians are not getting the jobs. People from different countries are coming in.
Just like New York City, Toronto is one of the most culturally diverse cities on the planet, the unofficial capital of gay pride, and a welcoming place for everybody, no matter your gender or ethnicity. It's a dream for people all across the world to come to Canada, whether they're hoping to be educated, escape poverty, or just trying to get ahead in life. Since January 2020, the country has welcomed over 4,700,000 new migrants between all permanent residents, foreign students, and workers on temporary visas. Almost half of these people have ended up in the province of Ontario alone, leaving many people to believe that Toronto has become completely unrecognizable. What's really going on here? Why are there record numbers of immigration within the last few years? Why are the majority of them choosing Toronto? And how is it making the citizens of this city feel? I showed up to a protest downtown to talk to people against the mass amounts of immigration.
What brings you to this protest today?
Canada first.
Okay, and what's the purpose of Canada first? Why are we hogging up the space in the road? Watch out, there's a car coming.
What's the purpose?
Yes.
Let's take care of our own people first. Whether you come from another country or you're just visiting, let's take care of Canadians and send the message like we used to. We care about each other, right? We care about fellow Canadians. We care about everybody. We need to take care of ourselves first, because if we're no good, we can't help anybody else. Most of these people come here, they got no jobs, they got nothing to do. And so it's not fair to them either to come here with the glory of a promise and it's all shattered when they get here. And then they're trapped here because they can't get a job, they can't get out of the government system. So we're not doing anybody any favors by doing this. We need to be stronger so we can help people. If we become weak, how can we help people? It's not sustainable. So what we're doing is not sustainable, immigration or not. I just think we got to stop, collect our thoughts, and maybe make better choices for all Canadians that come here.
Do you think there's a direct positive correlation between the amount of people entering this country and the cost of living rising?
Of course. Like more demand on the streets, right? The cost of bread goes up. It's a simple fact. The only way we're going to bring inflation down is for unemployment to go up. There's less demand for certain goods when people don't have money, which means unemployment goes up, inflation goes down. We're at 6% already. Alberta's at 9%. We're going to get into double digits unemployment in this country. And then where's the money going to come from to help the so-called people we're trying to help?
What do you think about this?
Well, today we're here to start putting our people first, put Canada first. We're sending billions and billions to wars that have nothing to do with us. So we're here, Canada First movement, alongside with Take Back Canada, to bring that awareness that mass immigration is a direct correlation to not only our crime issue in this country, our housing issue, our job issue for our younger Canadians coming up, they can't find jobs. We don't have the infrastructure, and the biggest thing, it is destroying our identity and culture. It's destroying it. We need to preserve it. Look at France, look at England, look at them. They're ahead of us. They're accelerated. What happens there comes here. So we need to start putting Canada first, and we need to take back Canada now.
Cheers.
It's no surprise there's a ton of people here angry with the current immigration system. But if you're confused as to what exactly they're trying to achieve, let me break it down for you. This is technically two protests blended into one. Canada First and Take Back Canada. More or less trying to convey the same message, that immigration is too high and the government needs to do something about it. Either severely limit the amount of migrants, close the borders entirely, and in extreme cases, deport migrants that are already here.
If the permit is expired, you must be deported.
You are saying my permit is expired, it isn't.
No, if it's not, but it would be in a couple of weeks or in a couple of months.
I can extend it.
But I hope they won't, because we don't need you.
Will.
No, we don't need you here in this country.
It's also a good time to tell you guys that a lot of the footage from this video couldn't make it into the final version due to the protest playing copyrighted music through these really loud, annoying speakers. So if you want to see the extended video, it's live on my Patreon now. It also supports the channel, link in description.
We're losing our money, our wages, our even standard of living. We have enough in Canada to feed and to house everybody, but the government is corrupt and misspending our money, giving it to war, and they're not representing the Canadians. Yeah.
Okay. Well, what's one number one change that needs to come to this country in the coming years?
A lot of change. Well, you know, basically stopping all contracts and starting over. We were part of so many agendas, so many accords, so many UN directives that we're not really running our country. They are. We need to basically take back Canada and make Canada first.
What brings you to this protest today?
I believe that Canada needs Christ.
Okay.
And without Christ, then I guess Canada's going to go into a fallen state.
Okay. So you're here for more of a religious context?
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you think about the immigration to Canada, those numbers rising? Would that be any reason you're here at this protest today?
I see the argument. Yeah, I think too many immigrants coming in here. I do believe that, like, if you're going to come to Canada, you have to respect the culture of Canada. They don't respect the country, and if they don't respect the culture, yeah.
A major frustration many Canadians are experiencing is because of migrants not assimilating. It basically means that some migrants will disregard Canadian laws, morals, and values, and this is expected sometimes, but people are noticing more and more of it. For example, there's people that live here that are okay with not knowing the country's official language, English. There's been people pooping on public beaches, front lawns, and gas stations, and flashing illegal weapons at the after parties of their weddings. And as far as this country's concerned, that's not cool.
Basically, I'm always hearing from the older generation, you know, about all the stuff of how great Canada was, it was affordable, people liked each other, and I'm basically just watching all that collapse right now. So I'm out here basically just to show my support, to say, you know, we don't like the way this country is headed, and we want to work and put an effort into stopping the way it's going so we can get back on track, basically.
Okay. What do you think about people that might want to move to Canada but they don't want to adopt the culture, learn the language, or assimilate with society?
I really think that they should rethink things. If you want to move to Canada, you have to adopt those things. And if you don't want to adopt those things, then you're better off just staying in your country.
I don't really know why I'm here, to be honest.
I guess I'm supporting the fact that we send too much of our Canadians' hard-earned tax money overseas. And we're not looking after the people here that put all of their money and years into it, like our seniors. And we're bringing in too many immigrants. And they're taking up a lot of the jobs where our younger kids could be working for the summer. I guess that's why I'm here.
Any words for any Canadians out there that might be watching this?
Learn to grow a garden. Don't depend on the government. Do as much as you can to be self-sufficient. Network within your community and keep cash alive. We're here to support the Take Back Canada movement. They're all about ending the mass immigration that we're seeing. I mean, it's one thing to allow immigrants, which we fully support, but it's another when they all come in as giant groups. We lose our identity as Canadians. We lose our culture. So we're here trying to defend that.
So why do you think the numbers are rising so rapidly? And if you look at the chart, it's actually still increasing to this day. Why do you think that is?
I think mainly because our government isn't listening to what the people actually want. They're just doing what's good for them. They're not, consulting anyone about it. I mean, obviously we can't have an election about it or anything, but there hasn't been any kind of polling or anything that I've seen take effect. And everyone that I know personally, nobody supports the mass immigration.
Do you think Canadians' voices are being heard about the mass immigration problem going on?
No, I don't think they're being heard at all.
Do you think it's a bit insane that people have to come out and block up the streets to get the attention of the government?
It really is. This isn't something that we should have to do. This is something that our government should just instinctively know. But I mean, I'm quite sure that the MPs and the MPPs have all received letters from their constituents, and yet the government doesn't seem to care.
To put in perspective, if you went to any other country in the world, even US, they'd expect you to know English. They'd expect you to at least be cooperative with the culture they've created. Whereas it seems here we have a salad, right? They always say a salad of different cultures. But when you have this culture that doesn't get along with this culture, then you create clashes. On top of the fact that we as Canadians do have a culture that is not theirs that they're bringing over. So, yeah, I think assimilation isn't pushed hard enough by the immigrants coming here and by the people bringing them here either. So I think the issue is, like many of the signs there say, is that there's no job shortage. It's the fact that Canadians are not getting the jobs. People from different countries are coming in, getting our jobs, and creating a bigger competition for naturally born citizens to get a job.
If you can speculate, what is the solution for this that has already happened? There's a lot of people that have been brought to the country. The numbers are increasing. Is the solution just a cap on the amount of people that are coming in?
I think a cap would be the very least you could do. I think it should have been done a long time ago. Should have been a bipartisan issue, but it wasn't. I think at this point, you really got to vet people hard. So a cap would be a start on top of actually bringing in people who can offer something and not just compete with you and me for entry-level jobs.
Canada has more than enough land for everybody to live on, right? It's what the government's doing is that they're cramming all the immigrants into the cities, right? You know, I don't want to get caught up in like, oh, immigration is a problem, because a lot of people are focusing on the cities, and the perception is that, oh, the cities have too much immigration, that means that immigration is a problem. But I'm like, well, if you go outside of cities, like, okay, if you go outside of Brampton, Toronto, or Scarborough, there's lots of land. It's not overcrowded. It's only overcrowded in the cities, and the government is giving incentive to businesses to bring immigrants here. So someone in the government is telling immigrants from people from India, come to Canada, you're going to make some money, you'll make a better life here and stuff. They come here, and then there's nothing other than like cheap jobs like Tim Hortons and stuff, so they have to hire Tim Hortons, and then the government's giving incentives to the corporations of Tim Hortons to hire them to pay half their wages, right? So it's not like the government, it's not like Tim Hortons and all these corporations are racist. They're just like, well, if I hire someone from India or something, I'm gonna get money from the government that will help my business. You know, make
cheaper labor.
Huh?
It's cheaper labor.
Cheaper labor, right? But it's cheaper labor, but the government's giving incentives, but they're not saying that. Why is the Tim Hortons in Toronto and these areas filled up with a lot of Indians? Because they're getting incentives. But you travel outside of Toronto, go to one of the Tim Hortons on the side of the roads, on the side of the roads on the highway and stuff, or you go to other areas and stuff. There's not a lot of Indian people. It's like white people and stuff working there.
I thought it was quite interesting what the people of these protests had to say about immigration, but I knew they weren't exactly representative of Toronto's population as a whole, because at this moment in time, a lot of the city's population are international students, foreign workers, and immigrants themselves.
What's your name?
My name's Diljit.
Diljit?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. I'm Gavin.
Same here.
I'm filming a YouTube video today on immigration into Canada. We've just seen a protest come down this road a couple hours ago. There's people protesting against rising numbers of immigration. Some people think that it's too much.
Yeah.
Where do you stand on that subject?
Yeah, I think the same. Like, there's too many immigrants coming over here. I myself was an immigrant, but times have changed right now, because I came in 2021, and in that time period, there were not so much of immigrants in here.
Yeah.
And earlier that, when I talked to my boss or my elders, they also said that like there been too many immigrants coming over so much these years, and like till 2025, it's gonna be like triple or quadruple times.
Every people have different opinions. If the immigrants are come, they also give them invest their money. I came to study here. I invest near about $18,000 to $20,000. Also, I eat food and giving rents. That's also came to from my home country money.
My opinion is that we need to accept people that will help build the city of Toronto. It was in kind of a dead zone since 2015, but recently a lot of stuff has been happening. I think that if Canada is importing a lot of skilled workers in terms of STEM fields, I'm not too sure about our industries, but a lot of the stuff here is fueled by technology. So if we can advance our tech industry, make it a little more like New York or SF, I think then it's a good idea to import some of these people and give them a life in Toronto. As for other kinds of degrees or any skills that might have, I think you need to be skilled to come here. That should be the baseline.
In the last economy data I have read somewhere, it's near about $32 billion that immigrants give within 1 year. That's a huge amount of money any country receiving for the immigrants. That money went to the Canadians who are citizens. They are seeking for CPB, OS. Where they come from? They come from the immigrants.
I think that if a host country has a kind of weak culture, then stronger cultures might come try and dominate it. For example, let's say you had an immigrant that didn't know anything about Canadian culture. If you were to throw hockey events, stuff like, Canadian stuff, then I feel like it could attract more of their attention, assimilate their culture into it, and that's where you get assimilation. I think if you don't have that, then it can be kind of like, instead of assimilating, the cultures are kind of competing. You don't want cultures to compete with each other, you want them to complement one another. So I think if we can build more infrastructure to facilitate that, it can be something that can fix that problem.
I earn here, I spend here. Which country boost? This country boost. That's why I think they are totally different views that immigrant is spoiling. We don't beg. I am earning, nowadays I don't have any job, but I am earning via Uber. But I'm not begging like people give me some money. But all the immigrants are hardworking, not beggars. So I think they have to change their views.
Yeah, man, I think it's very important because a society by itself, you don't really know anyone other than, like friends and stuff like that. You can't just see some random people and just start talking to them, unless, you're a YouTuber. There could be people sitting on the bench behind us that, I could know because we have a community together. But if I don't know them, I'm probably not going to talk to them. Building a community helps people make friends, and through that, they produce value to society. That's the value of communities. Ultimately, humans are nothing without a community because on our own, we're kind of useless. But together, we can do a lot.
Take this video for what you will, protest for what you believe in, and subscribe to Gavin Barry. Also, check out these super cool hoodies that I made. I wasn't wearing one because I was way too warm, but getting one is an awesome way to support the channel. You can help me fight back to demonetization and keep these videos coming. Check them out. Links in the description. Peace.